Yes, not bad.
Right, are we on YouTube yet?
Waiting for confirmation, I'm afraid. Okay, we're now live.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, thank you all for coming this morning. Much appreciated, and we'll crack straight on. So, minutes of the meeting held on whenever the last meeting was held. Let's have a look. The 16th of September, I'll go through it. I'm going to be looking at the minutes, so if anybody has anything to comment upon it, could you please just shout your name out or something? That's much appreciated. Okay, so that's the page 3, I believe that it would be, and page 4.
Yes, if I may, Chairman.
Yes, certainly.
I think Kat's just mentioned, it's a small point, but perhaps it's worth making. Beginning of top of page 4, second paragraph, it's perhaps worth adding there that the personal interest was one which might lead to bias. So it should really be perhaps the same form of words as is used further down the minutes.
Okay, I have no problems with that. I don't think anybody else does. It's a clarification. Kat, have you made a note of that, please?
Amended in the final minutes.
Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you.
No, thank you very much indeed. Much appreciated. Okay, so page 4, page 5, page 6. Okay, page 7. Members, I think we've all been aware of other issues which have happened since the minutes with regards to the warehouse. I have no intention now of speaking about it, so we'll leave that for a different time. Okay, is everybody happy with that? Thank you very much indeed. Okay. Okay, so the next agenda item. Sorry, I've got to keep on scrolling up. Don't we have apologies? Shouldn't we have apologies somewhere on here as well? No.
We've just had apologies from Councillor Holditch.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, it was just not on there, so maybe they were. Okay. To advise the items, the chairman has decided to take urgent elsewhere in the agenda. I haven't been given anything. Does anybody want to bring something up? No. Okay. Thank you very much indeed. Declarations of interest in respect to items on the agenda. Does anybody have any declarations of interest? I can't see any.
Music. Yes, I'm sure that Councillor Shepherd was saying the same. We've been advised by our legal people that we should. This is related to the extra warehouse, effectively. If you remember, last time we withdrew from the meeting, but this time, because the decision's been made, we can still stay, but just to declare it as a non-personal reason. Yeah.
That's fine. That's good. Thank you very much indeed. So,
yes, thank you, Chairman. That also applies, of course, to me. It's just a personal interest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. That's no problems at all. And that is as your members of Cambridgeshire County Council. That's fine. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Okay, agenda item number 4, Director's Report.
Chair, good morning to everybody. I'm just checking you can hear me okay before I start in earnest.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you. So, purpose of the report, as ever, is to inform Management Committee of the actions and progress since the last Management Committee in 16th of September. First section of the report gives the overall P&L position and profit and loss position for ESPO up to September 20. There is a separate in-depth finance report that's elsewhere on the agenda, so I won't go into masses of detail now, but I will just point out the sort of shape of that P&L for members. So you can see there's been a pickup in our catalogue sales compared to early in the year, which is really pleasing. And you can see that compared to last year, there was a sort of 15% below budget at the point of September, which I think, given the strategic context, it is a good performance over the summer. Our rebate income is ahead and has been looking strong all year. We do think there'll be a timing issue with that, so any ill effects from this year we'll see next year in terms of that income line. Our gross margin position's improved. As I mentioned when we did some of the briefings, that's just a function of our product mix. We sold more own branded cleaning products and the like, where they carry a slightly higher margin than our financial planning. You can see the operating costs year to date, £0.2 million below budget, And the effect of all of this is our trading surplus for September year to date was 3.1 million against a budget of 3.5 million. So £400,000 short at this point in time compared to the overall, had we not had COVID. We undertook a full year reforecast of our P&L that we presented to Management Committee. And you remember we signalled a range of £3.5 to £4 million profit for the year. Having done some additional work, I'm pleased to report that we were able to signal that it'll be at the top end of that range. So we're not going to reforecast, but we're going to leave the 3.5 to 4 range and say it'll be at the top end of that range. Financial position. Next section of the report looks very much at our operational progress and some of the key statistics we use and measurements to measure how we're doing it in ESPO. A couple of things I'll just draw out for you. You can see our pick rate is below target, and that really is a function of the inefficiency of working in a kind of COVID secure way for a warehouse. So although our pick rate's down though, one of the upsides is our error rate is at 0%, which you would perhaps expect if we're working at a slower, more considered pace. So you can see that coming through in our error rate, but our pick rate is slightly down. You've got some key statistics that look at our average order value, which is holding up very well, and our year-to-date costs against budget. It has been a busy back-to-school period for ESPO, and you can see the biggest sort of distress to that has been in our directs business, where we're essentially using a supply chain on behalf of our customers to serve them. You've seen some increased waiting times within customer services, and you've got the statistics there for the average waiting time. Finally, I'll just point out our FIFO ratings are slightly lower than it normally would be. It stands at 86%, which arguably still a relatively strong score, but we'd normally hope for it to be in the 90s. And I think that is just a reflection of some of the circumstances we're operating in, and as I say, some of the struggles we have as a result of that. I'll also draw your attention to some of the improvements we're working on in our telephony in terms of property times and allowing for promotional information when customers are waiting for us. And you can see some of those sort of customer communication improvements that's happened as well. Turning the page, you've got some figures on our stock position, and our product availability stands at 95.4%. At the point of writing that, it's improved since there. So we carry a target of 98% product availability. So as I report this, it's 95.4. At the moment, it's slightly higher, and you can see the impact in terms of our business when you haven't got things. So stock availability is incredibly important to us. We tried to offer alternative products and keep customers updated, but the best thing to do is just have it available in the first place, of course. You've then got some information on our facilities management across the period, which covers things like lighting, repairs, maintenance and inspection, and all the things you'd expect us to be doing on our site. And there's 3 health and safety report, and they're all covered at paragraph 11. Our building is secure, where we are undertaking a monthly self-assessment of that position and providing that to Leicestershire County Council Health and Safety team. Moving across then now to the staffing section, there's 3 or 4 things I want to update committee on. First is just to give reassurance our sickness continues to be well managed. Our latest sickness statistic is 6.6 days sickness against a corporate target of 7.5, which I will remind you again, it was only 2 or 3 years ago that number started with a 12. So we've done a lot of work in this area, and we've maintained that work over this period. You can see some of the interaction with colleagues is continuing through director briefings, head of service meetings, our employee engagement group. So across all levels of the organisation, we ensure that we're talking together, using all the different technologies to do so. There's a further update in the report which announces that although I advised you that we brought all members of staff back from the furlough scheme, we are now seeking to furlough an additional 8 members of staff. So we had up to 100 people out at the peak. Those people have come back, but we do furlough about 8 staff at the moment, and had consultation with the chair of the committee. Both supported that, but I provide it for information for all members. And finally, just information on our Employer of the Year and the fact that we are not undertaking our sort of traditional Employer of the Year approach this year. It just didn't feel right. The senior team thinks that everybody's paid their part and made a contribution in very different and quirky ways. And therefore, to kind of signal to one or two people just didn't feel the right thing to do this year. Instead, we're suggesting we give the money, which is only a few £100s, to our designated charities at ESPO, because normally in the year the staff would do many an event off their own back to raise money for our charities, and it feels quite fitting just to designate the money straight to the charities instead this year. The report alludes to the fact that we've undertaken our quarterly review of our major risk records, and even though it's visible for you, I will say, they cover Brexit, COVID, cybersecurity, our space needs, health and safety claims, and the fact that it's an intensely competitive marketplace. I review this, I take it very seriously, and it feels to me they are our strongest risks. So hopefully we'll get some reassurance that they are reviewed regularly, updated regularly, and fore of our mind. So finally, it's just for members to note and support the contents of the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Members, the floor is to you. Do you wish to ask the Director any questions? I don't see any hands up or anybody say anything. You seem to have got it away with it again, Chris. No, I just wanted to make a small point. I'm sure it's just an oversight. On page 20, the final risk, the IT, cybersecurity, that little box there at the end is not in orange. Is that just an oversight, or is there something I should know about that?
Spotted, that is an oversight. It should indeed be coloured like the others. That's
fine, that's no problems. Also, it was a 14, so it was the highest one even after the mitigation had been taken, so I just wanted to check upon that. Okay, thank you very much indeed. Okay, thank you. If no members has any questions, sorry. So the date of the next meeting will take place on the sorry, I do apologize, my colleague Ian, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it would be appropriate at this stage, I'm sure, on behalf of all members present, to ask the Director to pass on our thanks to the staff over these difficult times, and I'm sure other members would support that, I hope. Okay, and that's my only comment. It's so ask the Director to pass on thanks on behalf of yourself, Mr. Chairman, and all other members to the staff, please. Thank you.
I agree, yeah.
I think it'd be fair to say everybody would want to be associated with those remarks. So if you could pass that on, please, would be appreciated with an email to, or communicate it to all the staff, please. I'd be much appreciated. You're now on mute, or I can't hear you. Okay, I can't hear you. Okay, well, so thank you very much indeed. The date of the next meeting is on the 17th of March. Is the next one, and I'm now straight away going to move on to agenda item number 6, exclusion of press and public. Do I have a proposer and seconder for that, please? Yes, thank you very much indeed. Councillor Dr. Falter.
I'll second that.
And a seconder from Councillor Shepherd. So can we have the switched off, please, the YouTube switched off?